This year, the Power 50 want to understand how someone becomes an influencer within the fintech space. Today, I'm speaking with Dr. Leda Glyptis. I want to ask you, could you just share a bit about your journey into the industry?
It's been a long journey. I am one of the people who've been around from the beginning, just a factor of age and positioning. So I fell into financial services entirely by accident.
Okay.
But that accident meant that in the early to mid 2000s, as what we now recognize as the fintech wave was starting, I was in a big bank working in a tech and operations role. And I remember when my bosses first came in and they were like, what is this fintech? And it meant that by sheer luck, I was in the right place to sort of catch the wave, and it's been a hell of a journey for the last 15 years. I've grown up with it through banking, and then in the last few years on the fintech side.
Lovely. I just want to ask, in regards to social media, which platforms do you often use and why do you use them?
I use LinkedIn and Twitter.
Right.
And I, despite my current position and reach and platform, which is amazing, I was a very reluctant user. I started using LinkedIn when I left university and started building up my career, because everyone was like, you need to, that's your sort of the public Rolodex.
Okay.
Don't know that you even know what that is anymore.
Yeah.
But it was a way of staying connected with professional contacts who changed jobs. That's how we started LinkedIn. Back then, there was no concept of pushing out content. It was just a way of keeping in touch with professional content. As that started shifting, I was actually in a corporate job, and the hassle of getting things approved was too much to even bother. But I do remember being on the cross trainer at the gym and getting a text from a friend saying, dude, when are you going to acknowledge the fact that you're on, I think it was the very first Innovate Finance women's power list,
okay.
The very first,
Lovely.
however long ago. And I had no idea that existed or that I was on it, because I was not on Twitter. And my friend was like, it's really rude that you haven't acknowledged it. And I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. So I did one-handed account creation while on the cross trainer, got my name wrong, and then went to my best friend who's an engineer, and I was like, can you fix that for me? So it was all very back to front, but as I was saying earlier, back in those days, the ecosystem was very small. We all knew each other. It was all very local to the square mile. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I wasn't even on social media wasn't a problem. Today, you couldn't do any of that. As the years have passed, I have started using social media heavily, both because I found that it was an incredible source of insight and news. Mm-hmm. You have a community out there that is curating content for you every day, so you're smarter if you let them do it for you, kind of thing. And also I've been doing a lot of my own writing and found an incredible community of like-minded people. But it was a little back to front in my case, how I actually got to be on the platforms at all.
Lovely. And the final question I have is, in regards to like previous collaborations and stuff you've done in the past, what would you say has been your most enjoyable moment, or most successful partnership? Or
oh God, that is a
quite hard one.
It is a hard one. It is a hard one because if you think back, and I've been in the industry for 20 years now, if you think back, there are the things that were extremely enjoyable, mm-hmm. or the things that with hindsight may have been really tough, but actually were so meaningful in your journey. But if I have to pick one, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the partnership I've had with Tanya Andresian at what was Banking Tech and is now Fintech Futures, part of the Informa family. It's in its 6th year, and it started with a conversation of me saying to her, I want to write a little bit more, and her saying, why don't we start you with a weekly column under Leda Writes, 6 years ago. And I said to her, who wants to read this stuff every week? And she was like, you'll be surprised. And oh my God, was I.
Wow.
And it's been an incredible journey for me, both professionally and personally. It's been one of my most successful long-term collaborations. And it has been very meaningful to me personally, as well as obviously from market positioning perspective. So in a tough competition of amazing working relationships and partnerships, I would pick that one.
That is amazing and lovely. It was lovely chatting with you today, and you know, the whole event, the whole week has been going so well so far. And we're honestly honoured to have you as one of our influencers.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.